Hi, I'm Jansen. I'm back with my second video with Sports Talk with Jansen. Now, last night in the NBA, there was 3 playoff games. Let me start with the Miami Heat versus Charlotte Bobcats. First of all, nobody thinks the Bobcats have a chance, and everybody thinks they're going to get swept, which I do too. Like, the Bobcats really aren't that good of a team. Now, Kemba Walker had a pretty good year, and he had an okay game last night, 15 points. But LeBron James dropped in 32, 8 rebounds. Wade added 15. Chris Bosh, 20. The big three is just too much for them. Mario Chalmers, even Haslam, Chris Anderson doing his thing in the paint. And, I mean, they put up a good effort. It was a close game, entertaining. Kemba hit the clutch 3 with 11.8 seconds to go. Pretty good game, but I feel they're going to get swept. You know, Game 3 might be a little bit closer. Game 4 might be close, but I'd be lying if I said they weren't going to get swept. Now, to the surprise of the night, had to be Dallas upsetting the Spurs. Now, that shocked me because the Spurs, great regular season. I thought they would rip through Dallas in 4 games. Dallas, pretty good team, but to the Spurs level, I don't think so. It didn't help that they turned the ball over 24 times. And they got low production effort from Tony Parker and Tim Duncan, who combined for 23 points. Now, it's a shame it's a real shame because Manu Ginobili had the game of his life. 12 shots he scored, dropped in 27 points. He hadn't had a game like that in years. This man is getting old quick. It's unfortunate they lost that game. Now, let me credit Dallas. Their defense was on point. Monte Ellis had 21 points. Dirk only 16, but the rebounding, the leadership in the fourth quarter, you can't replace that. Dirk, legend, and that playoff experience, they could take this series. Now, re-looking at this series could go 7 games. Dallas wins Game 3, get momentum win Game 4. Hey, things can happen. It's the NBA playoffs. Things can happen. Now, another shock, which I know Laker fans, they're going to love it because, you know, they got no shots since Kobe's out. You know, they're going to love Dwight Howard's downfall. Dwight Howard and Houston loses last night. Wow. Both home games they lose. And to make it worse, they said they wanted to come out in Game 2, you know, play better defense, contain LaMarcus Aldridge. That's what their coach said, contain LaMarcus Aldridge. But unfortunately, LaMarcus Aldridge dropped in 43 points. Second straight 40-point game. Only other player to do that, LeBron James in 2009. So, they're having defensive struggles. James Harden, let me point out, he shot 6 for 19. That was awful. Jeremy Lin, 1 for 5. 1 field goal the whole game. Now, Houston, to me, their biggest problem is their defense. Their defense is not up to par. And the rebounding, too. They're getting out-rebounded, second chance points. The Trailblazers are capitalizing on that. Now, Damian Lillard and LaMarcus Aldridge kicking out to Matthews, hitting the jumper. Batum, watch out. This could be a sweep. Houston loses more confidence. Game 3, Portland back at home. This could be 4 games. Honestly, Houston getting swept, that would be awful. And they really gonna be calling for Carmelo to go over there. Which, if they could financially pull it off, that would make a lot of sense. Ooh, Carmelo, James Harden, and Dwight Howard. That's looking like the Heat back when they got together. Maybe even better. But let's talk about tonight's games. Preview tonight's games. Now, must win for the Pacers. They're going to Atlanta, and I think they're going to win. I think they're going to come out, have a sharp first quarter, and I think after the first half, they're going to be up by 20 points. Look for Roy Hibbert to be on the boards early. A lot of second chance points. I think David West's going to have a big game. I think Paul George will shoot efficient. George Hill dished the ball out to the boys. Lance Stevenson, I feel like he's going to defend well. And I got the Pacers winning 109-89. Now, For the Clippers and Golden State, I think it's going to be an absolute shootout. That crowd's going to be crazy. I see Curry and them Splash Boys going off tonight with the jumpers. Jumpers, three-pointers. I think Curry's going to have about 29 points. Klay Thompson, 20. David Lee, he'll put in some work. But my only concern is the absence of Bogut. Now, Bogut did a lot for this team. He brought the big-time defensive presence along with him and Andre Iguodala, who pretty good defender too. But even with saying that, I feel like they'll be too much for the Clippers. I think Blake Griffin, he'll have another outstanding game. Which, let me point out, he's having one of the best seasons he ever had. He's got better on the defensive side of the ball. His jumper's better. He more variety of post moves. And I just don't think they'll capitalize. I think the crowd will be too much. I think the fans will be into it. I think it's going to be a close game, high-scoring game. I'm going to say 112, 108. I think it's going to be close. I don't think Crawford's going to have a good night. I think Matt Barnes is going to struggle. And for some reason, I think Chris Paul's going to struggle in Game 3. But look for Blake Griffin to have a big night. But they're not going to be able to overcome the Splash Bros. Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, they're on go. They're ready for this. Now for the last game I wanted to preview, OKC Memphis. Which Memphis stole Game 2, to my surprise. I think OKC will regain focus. Kevin Durant's that boy. I feel like he will drop 38 to 40 points tonight. Tonight's the night. They say Tony Allen. They want to say he's a Durant stopper. But like Durant said, there's no evidence to back that up because Durant usually drops around 30, 32 points on Tony Allen. If you see in the past, last season, postseason when they got eliminated, even though they got eliminated, Durant still put up numbers. Like, let's not be confused, people. Don't fall in love with, even if Memphis wins tonight, which I don't think is going to happen, that does not mean Tony Allen contained Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant usually has a great night almost every night for the most part. Like I said, breaking Jordan's record, not everybody could do that. Michael Jordan, one of the best scorers of all time. Kevin Durant, same thing. Big things to come. I just think they're going to get refocused. Russell Westbrook, I think, if he has a big night, you might get 28-30 from him tonight. I think you're going to get about 38 to 40 from Durant. And it's going to be too much for Memphis. I don't think Memphis, I think they're going to be overconfident in that winning Game 2. And they're not going to be able to adjust to the speed lineup, especially when Perkins is on the bench, which, like I said, people want to downplay Perkins, but Perkins will bring a presence in the late third quarter, fourth quarter. Mark my words. Perkins on the boards. Perkins give you some layups too. I mean, he's not going to shine and score 20 points a game. He's not that type of dude. The stats aren't going to look pretty, but Perkins will give you rebounds. Perkins will give you that defensive presence. Shoot, looking back at his Boston days, Boston wouldn't won the championship without Perkins. It's the small things that count, people, and defense counts. So those are my predictions for tonight's games. Good night, America. And remember, you are what you focus on.